Welcome to your next step up the self-publishing mountain.
I'm Matilda Swift, author of quintessentially British cozy mysteries.
And I'm Samantha Cummings, author of young adult books about magic, myths and monsters.
I've written the books,
Changed their covers,
tweaked their blurbs,
tried tools from a dozen ads courses.
and I'm still not seeing success.
Now, we're working together to plot and plan our way from barely making ends meet to pulling in a living wage.
Join us on our journey where we'll be mastering the pen to snag that paycheck. Hello and welcome to Pen to Paycheck Authors Podcast. I'm Matilda Swift, here with my co-host Samantha Cummings, and we're here to write our way to financial success. We're two indie authors with over 24 books between us, and still a long way to go towards the quit the day job dream. If that sounds familiar, listen along for our mastery through missteps journey. Each week we cover a topic to help along the way. This week we're talking about the Island Conference, which has given me a bit of a cold, so apologies if I cough or sneeze. I've just come back from it. And before we talk about that, what are your wins and whinges of the week?
Oh, okay. I'll start with the whinge because I need to get it out of the way. I don't think I put this in Discord because I was holding back. So this week I got a note under my door from my downstairs neighbour. You already know about this, so don't look shocked. I've already told you. Yeah, I came back. There's a note under my door, and my downstairs neighbour apparently's bathroom ceiling was dripping, and the ceiling had bowed. So I was like, oh, so that means our bathroom must be leaking, but we didn't have any leaks. So long story short, I went to look at their bathroom, and their ceiling is like caved in, like a big, like massive. I don't even know, like just like a bowed ceiling from water damage. And I had to get a plumber in, and he found a porous pipe that had to be replaced. And it was just, just life stress when you're not expecting.
Yeah, that's horrible.
Yeah. Like, and like I felt awful, and I am just so not the person to react fast to things. I really have to take a lot of time to like process something and then set myself up to do things. And this was something that demanded immediate action.
Mm-hmm.
And it was really stressful, and I had to, like try and figure out what insurance would cover what, and I had to call the landlord because he was the person that left the note. So I was like, I'll have to call the landlord, speak to him, have to go and speak to my neighbours, have to call my plumber. I love my plumber, he's fantastic. So like any excuse, he comes around like at least once a year. I'll just get him around for a chat, Just come around. It was really stressful, and so far it's like it's kind of fixed in that the pipe was replaced and the water, we assume, has stopped. No one's told me it's still leaking, so fingers crossed that it's fixed. And then it's just about getting the damage repaired, which is like an insurance job. So like I don't even know, whatever. But yeah, it was just stress. And I am so proud of how my win of that situation is that I'm very proud of how I dealt with it, because I really didn't want to. And you
dealt with it very quickly, because I feel like you mentioned it to me like 2 days ago.
I had to, like I literally had to deal with it there and then. I couldn't put it off. And I put it off as much as I could, in that I said, I text the guy and I said, I'll call you tomorrow, because I didn't get home till late. So when I got the note, it was too late to like call anyone. So I texted him and said, I'll call you tomorrow, and I'll get a plumber around and everything. And I put that off for as long as possible, meaning I left it to lunchtime because I needed the morning. I went to work, and I was just sat at work, just mentally processing, building up to do something that is going to lead to the next thing and the next thing and the next thing.
I mean, presumably he's put it off for a while, because if it was a tiny drip and his ceiling came in.
So let me tell you as well, the worst part. Apparently it had been leaking for 2 weeks, and they didn't tell us. It's like we could have stopped the ceiling from doing this. As soon as you notice water dripping, come and knock on my door. So that was a very that was a bit of an annoying thing. It's like, if it was 2 weeks ago, guys, come on.
Also, I would say that makes you less liable for damages. So like at least at least it's mitigating.
Having lived in this flat for probably going on like 9 or 10 years, I don't know. This has happened, both I have done this to somebody and it has happened to me as well, because that's just life in a flat. So it's not like it's a huge deal, really. It's all easily managed, but it's just like that extra stress. So I dealt with that this week. I was an adult. I did all this stuff, and I feel good about how I reacted to it. And I feel more robust in life for having dealt with it. And it's not over, and I'm sure that something else will crop up. Because we've talked about this before, where all of my bad stuff always happens around the same time.
It comes in threes,
So
yeah.
isn't it funny that it happened after, that week where I was like, oh, my brain's not working, everything's wrong. And then my brain was forced to work. So that was a bit of a stress, but I have come out the other side feeling good. And my other wins are, like, I had basically have taken the last 2 weeks off doing anything because I just haven't been in the mindset. I sent my book off to the editors, so I thought, time for a break. And I hadn't planned on it. I just thought, like, why not? And this weekend, I've gotten back into doing work, so I did my beat sheet for my next book, which is going to be out in October. So I've already got the beat sheet ready. I'm ready to start writing that. And I set up my ARC sign-up form, which as soon as I sent it out to my email list, immediately got people signed up for it, which is so nice. I refreshed the page within a minute of sending the email, and people had already signed up. I was like, oh my god, people like me. They like it. I feel really good. And I had a meet-up with a local author yesterday, and we just get on so well. I just feel like everything feels good, and I'm heading in the right direction. Without the plumbing issues, everything else, perfect.
Even with plumbing issues, like that came up, didn't email you? You were like, fix that, get on with plumber beat sheet.
Yes, and I did it all from the comfort of my allotment, because I took all the stuff with me to the allotment because I had to do some weeding of the boxes and stuff. And I took like my phone, I took the note, I took all my insurance stuff, and I sat on the bench in the allotment, had some lunch, and then made the phone call. So I thought, if I'm going to have to make this phone call, I want to be in the best place possible. Yeah. And I turned it into a nice event.
Okay, that is lovely. I feel like most of my stuff I'm going to talk about, obviously, is going to be in the next section. We talk about the conference. Yeah. But I would say sort of the post-conference, I got back late on Friday, like midnight-ish on Friday. And I was already feeling a bit coldy. Like there's a few people that have come down with a cold. And it's an intense few days, so not surprising. But it feels like just a little bit of a cold. And I had time in my schedule to take a couple of days off. So I've just taken Saturday and Sunday off. But within that, I've done things like, done the laundry and done some other chores, and also had time to not act too quickly on, like, not jump into lots of new things. And like my brain is jumping into them, but I am not doing anything too dramatic to change my schedule, which is definitely how I felt while I was there. And so I think my body has helpfully slightly hobbled me and made me rest. And I feel like I'm trying more and more to appreciate the experience of like following what my body wants. Because last night I slept like over 8 hours, which is unusual for me. And then woke up and only really came downstairs because my cat was being annoying at the door. So I came downstairs to the sofa where I've napped several times. And it's like, okay, if you had a good sleep and then you're napping, like, just need to rest. That's fine. Yes. Don't blame yourself, which I have felt much better about today than I do normally. So that feels really nice. Though if I'm still sick tomorrow, I just have to get up and get on with things. And interesting, like I don't feel very sick. Like I think I'm a big proponent at the moment of just like downing tools stop when you're a bit sick. I just feel a bit of a tickle in my throat, a bit of a headache, a bit tired. Like that's it, a bit of everything. And it's from my body saying like, just have a little lie down. Yeah,
like just like very, very subtle alarm bells ringing, telling you that something could come.
Yeah.
So
and just do things that you can do from lying down. So I put 2 recipes in every single book that I write in my current series. So today I was deciding what recipes they're going to be because I have to make them next week, and doing the ordering for the ingredients that I need. So like nice little bits and pieces. I'm thinking about potential future projects that I might do, but just lightly, but all from the comfort of my sofa while wearing my comfiest jumper, which says Santa Baby on it, because I want a little bit of glittery Santa Baby in my life right now.
Yeah, well, you deserve it. So our topic of the week is that you have just come back from the Island Publishing Show, which is going to be known as Indie Network Ireland from next year. How are you feeling? So how was the event in general? Did you enjoy it? Did you hate it? Can you wait for next year? Are you never going to go again? Tell us, give us the scoop.
I absolutely loved it, and it sort of made me feel like the first time I went to SPS. Like when you're meeting people and everything's like full of energy, you feel like you're full of thoughts that you never had before. And yeah, I think the smallness of it, relative to SBS, feels like it makes a big difference. And also because you're all trapped to an extent, like you're staying in the venue where the conference happens, and everyone else is staying within like the next couple of miles, like they're staying in the venues very nearby. It feels like you're all intensely in it together. But also, I think the benefit of staying in the conference venue means like you can just go to your room and have some introvert time, which people often did, and like maybe miss a session, or they also had a pool there, so I swam every morning. So I think like overall the vibe felt very like energized and get things done and amazing and you can do all the things and here's like all the next steps you're going to take. And there were so many cozy mystery authors there, and like everyone kept remarking on it when I did just like another cozy mystery author. And I think part of that comes from uh when a lot of us met at like the first or second SPS. I went to the second SPS for the first time, and a lot of us met there, and then we've just brought more and more people in, and then one person from our group went to Ireland last year and really liked it, and then told everyone to come, and obviously other crazy mystery authors are having the same thing, so it just felt really nice as well that it was like not not full of romance authors, that you can't find your own little tribe. And there were all sorts of genres there, and and I feel like it catered more towards the practical side of things than SPS, just because the smallness of the size kind of made that workable. So there were definitely three standout sessions where it it was like full of action points, and you didn't feel like, oh, this could have been a podcast. Like you really were, you had to be in the room. They were doing like, oh right, they would say there were four, but and there was one more that I wish I'd attended, but it clashed something else. So like a handful of sessions where you got to see things on screen, you got to interact with documents people have prepared, you needed to ask questions, that it really felt like being in the room was going to impact how you were able to do something, which was great. And I made lots of notes, and I also felt very smug because I carry around stickers all the time in my notebook, in my planner, and I use these during the sessions to put stars by action points. And I'm going to show you this. I'll put it on screen. Look at that. Those are the notes of a winner.
There's
I
something
felt so
about
good about myself.
there's something
A lot of
about
gold
seeing
stars.
a gold star
Yeah,
on a page that fills me with just hope and wonder. It's just
yeah,
so it's like childlike joy of having a
yeah.
gold star on your page.
You get it done. Yeah. Um, and I also like they were really variable sessions. The one that I went to where I felt like I'm going to follow up on this thing. Um, yeah, and I think interesting the variety felt good. Like it was only 2 days, like SPS is, but it felt like they had got a really good like handle on the practical side of things, where it's like it couldn't just be a podcast. I think at a bigger conference where your audience is quite broad, it maybe has to be something that's a little bit more just like generic, and it often could be a podcast. Whereas this, I really felt like being in the room got a lot of benefit. There were also two really stand out, like very inspirational sessions. So the keynote speech was from Sadie Kincaid, who we have never read. She's a romance author, and we know how I feel about romance. But I, she just shared something so like profound and meaningful that connected with everyone in the audience. Like a lot of people all conference were saying like, gosh, I was crying at that. Like it made me cry. Everyone was. It was very personal, and also she really tied it into practical things, like how that had like the next step she took following something quite personal and impactful. So it was phenomenal, the keynote speech. And then there was also a session called Powerhouse Women that just had women on stage who had set up careers to make a lot of money. And they were asked questions, they talked about it, and it just felt really normalizing of like women being powerful, which at these conferences you get a lot of, and this one included, you get a lot of men talking loudly and acting like they're powerful and acting like they're the only ones that can do anything. And you should have to do it by, I don't know, perhaps making your wife stay at home and do everything for you. But these felt much more like relatable people that you could
Yeah.
see as examples of what to do. And maybe, maybe the boys see the powerful men as that for them. But I liked having those sessions personally. So it was a really good variety, and I have got a lot of points to come away with. Obviously, sort of too much to do, That's the
Of
next
course.
step, is to figure out like when
Yeah.
would I actually do those things. But in fact, I think that started to change recently for me as well, because obviously I just left my job at the end of October, and we're now at the end of March. Um, and so that's only been, a few months and Christmas has been in between that, and I've done lots of retreats, and I feel like I'm really struggling to get into a schedule. And also, I'm trying to figure out how much I can push myself. Um, and I think I really am seeing where I can make myself more productive in a way that doesn't just feel like hamster wheeling,
Yeah.
which I've sort of struggled to see in the past. So I've got a lot of things on my to-do list, and I think I want to really practically sit down after this book edit that I'm working on next week, and just really look at my schedule and say, like, how am I going to get things done that isn't just, it's like sometimes I just, in my evenings, I'll have my computer on my lap while I'm watching TV, and I'll think I'm getting stuff done, but it's like one or two things that like spread out into the whole evening, and I don't do them properly. And like, if I just said, actually, I'm going to spend 1 hour in front of the computer focused, I could have done it twice as much work.
Yes.
And I
I
think it's a mindset issue.
Yeah, I my boss every week sends around like a Friday email. It's just called Friday email, and he loves to put like inspirational quotes in, fun things that he's found on the internet. Like it's like a fun little thing that he sends around. He loves it. But one of the quotes that he put in this week was, and I don't know who it was, and I'm going to butcher it, but it was effectively, if you set yourself 8 hours to do the task will take 8 hours.
Yeah.
So work, obviously, it's like basically work smarter, not harder
Yeah.
kind of mentality. Is don't sit on a sofa for 6 hours and think I'll get this work done in 6 hours, because you could have just done it in one and then not not
I think
just
the problem I
wasted
have is I'm not
away.
good at resting, right? Because like I think, oh, I want to sort of rest, but sort of do some work, and they end up kind of doing neither. Um, and if I did the work in one focus hour, then I think like, oh, I've got 3 more hours, do 3 more hours of work. But like, no, you should be resting.
Yes, yeah, you need to figure out what is restful to you.
Yes. Yeah. But
It's funny, I think a lot of people need to figure that out. I don't think that's a
yeah,
given for a lot of people.
yeah. But I feel like now I can kind of see where there are. I feel like when you come back from a conference, you're always feeling like, okay, now I understand. Now things are crystallized in
Yes.
my brain, and now I know what to do. And I don't know how much of that is true, but I think one of the benefits of going to a conference is that feeling of like, okay, I am the seer of truth. I am all knowing. I am all like I'm omniscient and omnipotent. Like I can do all the things. I'm so good.
Yes.
So yes, that is a good benefit of coming back from a conference, and I've got
Yeah.
two more this year, so I'm feeling a bit excited. But Ireland was so good that straight away, I think within 24 hours, half the tickets were sold, because everyone there booked straight away to come out next year.
Yeah.
And everyone has been telling their friends to book. So I think that's a good reason to be talking about it today, that if people do want to go, you need to book it now.
Yeah. Yes. Even with my crazy, like, don't know how much this plumbing problem's going to cost me, I still bought the ticket because I thought what's the point of waiting? I'm going to be spending this money anyway. I'll just
Yeah.
spend it and see what happens.
Yeah.
So
And they have a payment plan option where you could sort of reserve a ticket for €20. So
yeah, I didn't see that option. It just said pay in full, and
I
I
told
paid
you
in
about that
full.
option.
No, I know you told me, but when I
Okay.
went on that link, I didn't see it. Like
Okay.
that was the thing. Like
I think as soon as we were buying them, the options kept appearing and disappearing.
yes, I probably that it disappeared. It did not give me an option
Yeah.
to like put a deposit down or anything. It just gave me the full amount to pay, and I thought, screw it. I
It's
also
not even that expensive for what it
it's
is.
not that expensive, but I also then yesterday went past my local like massage place that I go to and walked in and booked a 2 hour massage as well. I was like, you know what? If I'm spending money, I'm spending money.
Yeah,
So
I know.
I booked myself a massage for the first week in May, because that's when like literally the only time I can get in. So that's another
But
win
yeah,
that I
but
should have
on
said.
the money side of things, so I think the early bird tickets have gone now for the most part, unless you attended this year. So it's €300, €299, which I think in pounds actually comes up quite different. Maybe comes up like 260, maybe, if I have to make a guess. And for that, you get 2 full days of conferences. There was a drinks event that was sponsored by Reedsy, I think. And then following on from that, there were like nibbly food things, which essentially was a whole meal. Like there was a whole meal just of finger food, in the ballroom. from the conference, and it also had like a super cool little selfie station set up where you could take pictures with all these, like, it was St. Patrick's Day, St. Patrick's things with all your friends. That felt really fun. And there was a live band, and then the next night was a gala dinner, which was delicious. And you get 2 lunches and snack packs and notebooks and the best tote bag I've ever got at a conference, and some stickers
Oh,
for your laptops. So like all of that is within the ticket price.
yeah,
Insanely cheap, actually.
yes. And
I
how much did your flight end up costing you? Because the big thing about
so
London for a lot of people, because just to
yeah,
compare it to the London one,
is
is
the
the
transport. Yeah.
the transport is more expensive,
Hmm.
really, than the actual thing. Like, I'm scared to go and look about buying trains to London. I haven't done it yet, and I'm
Yeah.
terrified.
I mean, I think the benefit I have for London is because I stay with a friend. I can be really flexible when I arrive and leave. I could pick an extra day if I wanted to. So
Hmm.
I never find the transport super expensive. But if you're trying to arrive and leave to maximize your like use of accommodation days and not spend more on accommodation, it's quite
Hmm.
hard. Um, I think especially because this one finishes on Friday, so you have to come home on Friday night, which is an expensive night to be traveling
Hmm.
for London. So I was maybe the only person that booked actual luggage. Everyone's complaining about like how am I going to fit a gala dinner outfit in my luggage. I bought luggage because I like to take things with me, and in fact, I'm
Hmm.
so glad that I did on the way over. So I bought 20 kilos of hold luggage, which is like the maximum you can get with Ryanair. Um, and so I booked that, and I booked that when I reserved it, and I'd forgotten that I'd done it when I booked my ticket. Um, and everyone else was talking about like, oh gosh, luggage is so expensive for Ryanair. And I was like, it can't have been because I wouldn't have booked expensive luggage because I would
Yeah.
resent that too much. But I'd booked it anyway, so I got 20 kilos. And on the way over, in fact, my bag was maybe only like 12 kilos. On the way back, it was like 18 and a half because I'd got like, you get notebooks, and I got quite a lot of potatoes, which are not heavy, but they fill the space. And I don't know what else I got that wasn't in the bag, but yeah, all sorts of bits and pieces that you just sort of pick up in a conference,
Yeah.
and that you don't want to be worrying if your bag's gonna be overweight coming back on Ryanair, because that is an absolute pain. And in fact, I
Mm.
took some extra stuff from the person I shared a room with because they'd got extra stuff as well, and like that's fine. I wanted to be able to do that.
Hmm.
So yes, get the luggage. I flew from Manchester, which is a very nearby airport.
Hmm.
And it's probably the easiest airport. Several flights a day go from Manchester to Shannon, and Shannon
Yes.
Airport is 15 minutes in a cab away from the venue, so super
Hmm.
easy. And I think maybe at least 3 flights a day going from Shannon, or to Shannon. And so I went there and back that. I'm also done with flying early in the morning. I don't want
Oh no.
to wake up in the
Ugh,
middle of the night. People
disgusting.
did. People flew from Manchester early in the morning, but like I'm done with that. I wouldn't save myself money unless it was a significant amount of money. I wouldn't save myself money for that. So
Never.
I flew middle of the day there, and I flew
Yep.
evening back because I wanted to maximize the day, and I spent the day writing in the hotel. So the
Hmm.
flights that I exactly wanted, with 20 kilos of luggage for Ryanair,
Hmm.
and I booked. I can't book that far in advance. I'm not that organised. So it cost me £175,
Yep.
which is probably what you'd cost spending the train to London and back.
At least
Yeah,
for one person. Yeah. That's very good. Very good price.
yeah,
And it really is so easy to get to. Like, it's
yeah.
super easy to go from Manchester Airport to Ireland is just ridiculously fast.
It's almost too
And
easy because you don't know how to get your
it's
laptop out. So I was
too
like, I'm just
it's
going to
too
read. I'm just going to
easy.
get my Kindle out.
Hmm.
Mm.
Yes.
And the benefit was on the way back, because we're flying Friday night, and we must have landed something like 9:30 at night. Um, on the airport, on the plane, it was full of young women who were obviously going to go to a hotel, drop their stuff, and go out clubbing. And it was such a like they were all like glammed up in their faces and wearing like pajamas and bottoms, or like doing their makeup on the plane. I was like, oh, this feels like a really fun. Like imagine living in Shannon, just like going out to Manchester for the night. How
Yeah.
fun!
Yeah. Good for them.
So, yeah,
That's
I know.
adventurous. I love
That's what I
that.
thought. It
Oh
made me come back
wow.
with like that spirit of adventure. I was like, oh yeah, you can do
Yeah.
anything. You can just go to a different country to club for the night and then go home again.
Yeah.
So that's how affordable the plane is. And I think
Amazing.
most people did not get the luggage, so I assume it's even cheaper without the luggage.
Yes.
But I
Yeah.
would
Yeah.
I would take the
I'm
luggage.
I'm very good at traveling hand luggage
Hmm.
everywhere. When I went to Australia, whenever I went like a few years back, and
Hmm.
my main luggage got lost, I survived on my hand luggage
Yeah.
because I pre-planned. I knew I had a bridesmaid dress in there, I had shoes, I had makeup, I had days worth of clothes.
Hmm.
I survived. So I feel like I could, if I can get to Australia on hand luggage, I can
Yeah,
go to
you
Ireland.
could do
I
it.
could go
You could do
backpack.
it, but I would say you don't have to. It's not that
No,
expensive for a short trip.
I
So like
I
look at the luggage
like the
options.
I like the challenge.
You'll
I
like the
just love.
challenge because we're sharing a room and I'll have to take back your excess
Yeah,
luggage.
I
That
wouldn't
is
pick up
fine.
anything excess. I wouldn't. I'd manage it. I'm really good at
What if there's a
packing.
really good notebook?
I'm
And
so
it
good
is
at
a really good
packing.
notebook. Yeah.
I'm just so good at getting stuff into a bag.
hmm
It's crazy. Just it's
hmm
a skill.
I
I,
am, but I realize like a conference, I pick up a load of like paperwork and things, and I just don't want to have to. I don't want to sort through it in my hotel room.
Mhm.
I like having it when I come back. And also there were like some leftover snacks. They provided a snack bag, which had like Irish snacks in, which is a delight.
Mhm.
And it was needed to have some
Yeah.
snacks between meals. Apparently, one person complained last year that there was like a long time between lunch and dinner, and so like let's get in like hundreds of snacks for everyone, and multiple things in there, which is lovely. And like they were good snacks, so I really appreciated that.
Mm.
And they'd even got their own water that they buy in. That's like Yates water. Don't know why, but that was nice. Also, I've never been to Ireland before. This is quite a
Yes,
tangent on
I
the
know.
podcast, but Irish
Yeah.
water. Oh my goodness. Irish water is the best water in the world. It tastes of nothing. It's like you're
Hmm.
just drinking hydration.
Yes, it's
I'm not, this is my new vitamin D. I'm not going to talk about this for ages. This is my
very
new thing.
clear. Yeah,
Oh,
it's
yeah,
untainted. It's like liquid air.
yeah.
Hmm.
And that
Yes.
is what it's like. I was like, why have I been drinking this chemical soup for my whole
Yeah.
life? What am I doing?
And like, and
Delightful.
I know everyone knows about Irish butter, and it's hard for me to talk about it being
Oh,
vegan, so
it's so
I
good.
can't enjoy
Yeah,
Irish butter anymore. But
I
from
can, and I enjoyed a
my
lot of it.
child my childhood memories, because I used to go to Ireland like 5 times a year, like just constant. And my childhood memories consist of just really good bread, but also
Mm,
sometimes the cheapest bread, like such cheap sliced
mm,
bread, and then also sometimes like a proper loaf, and loads of Irish butter, jam, and that
yeah,
was dinner. Like we were just like, oh,
yeah.
like six
We
slices
had at
dinner.
the gala dinner, we had bread and butter, before
Oh,
the meal
yeah.
served. I ate more than my fair share. Also on the
Yes.
table, we got like little bottles of Writer's Tears whiskey.
Mm.
I just like there were just so many
And you
nice
tried
touches for the.
Tato's. You got to try
I tried
Tato's.
Tato's. I tried Tato's, and even though I'm aware that like cheese and onion is the flavor, I also brought home some extra flavors to try,
Hmm.
just for my own delight.
Yeah.
Cheese and onion is the best, but today I had salt and vinegar,
Hmm.
better than a Walker salt and vinegar, so I enjoyed that.
Yeah, salt and vinegar's good. I just like just to be really boring and talk about crisps or chips for our American
They're
listeners.
really good crisps.
They're really really good, but I just like the ready salted. I think that they are particularly good. Particularly good.
Mm, yeah, it's good
Oh,
crisps. So yeah, we had like nice crisps, lots of like they were in the snack pack. We had potatoes in the snack pack, but I've also bought myself lots of potatoes because they're very
yeah.
good. Um, Yeah, so just like tons of lovely touches. And in fact, even
Hmm.
at the gala dinner, like having all the tables be separated by like author, speaker, um, and all the seats were randomized. You couldn't sit next to your friends. You were forced to sit next
Hmm.
to other people. That felt really nice. Like I met people that I wouldn't have spoken to otherwise. And the conference is like, I think it was like 210 people. So you got no hope of speaking to everyone. Obviously, everyone as well. You know some people from the conference circuit. They're people that I only see once a year. So that was nice to catch up with them. But it was also lovely just to meet new people. That felt really
Hmm.
lovely. Told them about the podcast, so hopefully got some new listeners.
Oh,
Um,
welcome, welcome.
yeah. And then so also thinking of prices, we stayed at the venue, and I shared a room with somebody. And next year, you and I will be sharing a room.
Hmm.
And they're not available right now, but I would imagine some will come free. There were room packages that have been pre-booked by the conference, and for 3 nights for a double room, including an excellent breakfast buffet. I highly recommend the croissants. It was €507, which I think is going to come to like 480
Hmm.
between two for 3 nights. And we're going to
Yes.
add an extra night, but like it's so affordable
Yeah.
and just yeah, everything you'd want from a conference. I think. If I could change one thing,
Hmm.
two things: comfier chairs, which has been noted and has already been commented on that they need comfier chairs, and then just slightly fewer men talking. They were very
Hmm.
loud and they were
Hmm.
very confident, and they like the sound of their own voices. I would have liked more women, but
Yes.
that's
I think
fine. The women who were there were great.
women have a broader experience than men,
Mm,
and that's not on. It's not men's fault, but they generally are coming from very similar backgrounds,
hmm
like in some way. And I feel like women have to. And this is like so generalizing as well. Women have to overcome so much more. Fight me in the comments. I think that that's true. Um,
Well, I do want to spotlight two of the boys that I enjoyed their talks. They did. And the two men that I really liked the talks, they were entirely in service of the audience. They had prepped so well. They had given like step-by-step tools of here's what you need to do what I did. One of them, who I think was one of the highlights of the conference, was Stuart Grant, who some people have websites made by him. He runs Digital Author Toolkit. He was the main sponsor, the lead sponsor of the event. Apparently, as soon as the call went out for sponsors, he like within a few seconds like contacted them and said like, let me be your main sponsor. And he's just like a one-man band. He's a really nice guy who just does websites for authors. And I have seen his websites. A few people that I know have them, and they are lovely. And he did a 45-minute talk with. It's got my most gold stars, so I'm going to hold it up this page. It's this page and this section up here of his Stuart Grant pages. He was talking all about GEO for your website. And he makes websites. So, like, it would be in his interest to say, you can't do it yourself, let me do it. But he was like, step by step, here is everything you need to do and why you need to do it and the benefits of, like, each step I'm talking about and how hard it is for, like, getting yourself more visible online in the age of AI. Like, phenomenal. He put in so much work into this when, as a lead sponsor, he already got opportunities to talk, and he spoke at the gala dinner and he spoke at the a couple of times, and it's just like he didn't have to go this hard with his talk, and it was fun, and he was lovely to talk to. Fantastic. The other boy who did a very good job was Stephen Aitchison, who writes a series called something like The Scotland Witches. I'd never heard of before. It's fantasy. It's not in my genre.
Yes.
But it's very big. You'll see him around.
Yes,
I see his adverts, and I only realised
his adverts hit me hard. Like every single time, I'm like, oh yeah, that's it. I keep seeing the same one.
Well, he talked about here's how you can make adverts like I make, and like really had broken down numbered step by numbered step of what he did, answered questions incredibly fully, was just like, and I think to an extent, I would say he's maybe missing that perspective of, could anyone do this? Would it work for everyone? What if I tried it and like I wasn't, a man with an accent? But he gave you everything that he knew to give, I think, and really step by step talked about everything, and in a lovely way. So yeah, those are my two favorite men. And one of my favorite women, Tamila Breck, gave a great talk. She was one of the first speakers. She talked about, again, she just gave a really good talk on, here's the practical things that you do step by step. Not a vague concept of like, here's one newsletter important. She's like, here's the 4 thoughts of automations you should do and how you do them. Here are the 4 things that are like optional, you could do them and how you do them. Done. 45 minutes. I came away with 4 gold stars. Excellent. I knew what to do.
Yes.
One that I think not enough people went to, and people should watch the video for this, because it sounded like something that maybe isn't applicable to everyone. It was by Lorna Sixsmith, who I only ever see on TikTok because she's got a farm, as well as being a writer. And I love farm content because she's working a farm. But she has a really good TikTok for a farm. She has other accounts as well. But she's busy this time of year farming rather than doing writing. But she gave a talk about how to get press, which I think people don't necessarily think is important nowadays, and literal press like covered in the papers. But actually in the time of GEO, you want as much content about you online and from authoritative sources as you can get.
Yes.
So when we're saying press, we're meaning like authorities to talk about you online and tell and like share the same news that you're sharing on your website. And again, she had such actionable steps, and she even made a worksheet about like, here's what to fill in to pitch someone. That's all you need. Here are examples of what I've done, and like multiple types of examples that you can absolutely copy. And it felt so doable. And she used to be a teacher, and then she and her husband took on her family farm, and she's just an ordinary person who is in the news loads in Ireland. And that just felt like, oh yeah, really doable, really relatable. I can absolutely see how I could go from here to there.
Yes.
So that was really good. And then one that I didn't get to see because it clashed with the talk was the one about character from Susie Quinn that I'll definitely be watching. But the one that I saw that was on at the same time was TJ Green's like fandom building, which was really good, and was about just like what elements she thought of when she built her series in order to make it bigger than just the books. So thinking about merch and thinking about building a fandom. And I've seen talk from her online before, not in person, that felt a bit like, I don't know how I get there. And that was one where it was really useful to be in the room because you could ask her questions. So, like, what order are you doing those things in? Like, are you seeing these things in the book, or are you building the community first? Like, how are you doing that, and not just being like, thousands of pounds out on merch, or sat by yourself in a room when we got no subscribers? So that was a great one to go to. And that was definitely a benefit of lots of things. I asked lots of questions. And this is my other one of the week. Can I say I'm going to be riding this high for a while? At one of the sessions, someone sat down next to me, just by coincidence. Someone that I knew. And then she leaned over and she said, I've seen you at some sessions. You ask really good questions. I was like, that is my goal in life.
Yes,
that is. Ask really good questions.
Yeah, you are very good at asking questions. Yes.
Queen of the world. Couldn't have got a better compliment.
Yeah, that is a really good thing to say to you.
Yeah, and I did ask good questions. Yeah. Because I think what often this is sort of the reason why we have the podcast, right? We have the podcast because you often get people who are at the end of their journey reflecting back, and they're not really able to, or they don't consider, like, how did you think about the mindset aspect of, like, how did you get yourself across these hurdles? And so I think a lot of my questions are about that, of just like, when did you change your focus from X to Y? Because you talked about kind of it smoothly moved from X to Y. And that felt, the size of the conference actually made it feel very easy to ask those questions. You were either in a room of like 3 round dinner tables, which had maybe, I think it had a limit of 50 that room, or you were in a ballroom, quote unquote ballroom, it's just a big room, but you were horizontally rather than like vertically, so like you were always only like maybe 5 rows back rather than being like 20 rows back from the stage. So it always felt like you were quite close to the speaker, and there was always time for questions. I would say maybe a couple of talks were so packed with information you couldn't have that, but definitely every speaker was like, do come and find me, come and ask me something if I didn't answer it now. And the size of the conference made it feel very easy to ask questions and talk to people, which was just lovely, because I love asking questions.
Yes.
I think that was like my highlights. I think I've gone through my main ones. There were a couple that were like just good inspiration, and kind of made you feel good rather than necessarily having takeaways, which I think is also important because I wanted to feel powerful.
Yes. Yeah, because that is sometimes not a downside, but when you go to any event where it's quite overwhelming, the worst part is coming back from it and feeling drained and not inspired. And it's nice, like, you want the good feelings as well as, like, the feeling drained is okay, but it needs to be compensated with the inspiration. Otherwise, like, it's just, you could convince yourself that it wasn't a fun experience because you only felt the drainage immediately.
Yeah, or even not necessarily not a fun experience, but I think it's very easy with a conference just to come away and think, oh yeah, I've learned so much and I can do so many things, and you look at your notes, you're like, I actually don't have anything like that I can meaningfully do. Like, something's either all too big or all too small, and you just think, like, I don't quite know what I'm doing next, whereas here I know what I'm doing next. And I had a real like epiphany about what I want to do at a career level, and some of that came from just the amalgamation of different kind of inspirational talks, and sometimes also some of the talks are things that like I have already focused on quite a lot, and there was nothing new in them. So I saw Diana Zarissa's talk on productivity, and I think because I'm fortunate enough that I don't have kids around, I don't have a day job at the moment, I'm not like battling for free time, and I've had a lot of time to really think about, like, how do I want my sprints to go, or can I try different sprints, can I try different times of day to write, can I go on retreats to write? I've had a chance to try all that, so things she was talking about in her session were lots of things like that, like try this, try that, and so nothing in there was like, oh wow, brand new, but it was all a good like reminder of things that I want to focus on, want to keep top of mind.
Yeah. Was there anything that you feel like you wouldn't want to see again? I don't like to point out the negative stuff, but like, do you feel like there was anything that fell flat?
It's interesting because I think I can never tell if it's just falling flat for me, and at a different career stage it would be fine. I know that there was a talk, obviously I didn't go to all talks because there are 2 streams, so obviously half the talks I already said that's not for me, and I don't want to go. And the Susie Quinn one I did want to go to, but it was on the same time as the TJ Green one, so I couldn't. But there were ones that were very different things I'm interested in. So, and I know there was like a couple of vendor ones. So there was a KDP came and talked about like how to upload stuff to KDP, and I know there was like a whole vendor session, which I don't know what that could have been that wasn't already covered when you. In fact, that was a good thing. They really made the vendor day part of the event. So you arrived on the day one of 3 days, but really 2 were conference days. On day one was like a register and check in, but also go and see all the vendors, and you fill in a passport for prizes for that. But I think at the conferences, when you have vendors around, you just think like, oh, I don't really need to talk to Jeff to Digital. I use my books. I use them for books already. I don't need to say anything to them. But I think making it an integral part of the conference actually does a really good thing. It like makes you get more comfortable talking to vendors and makes you more aware of what's around, and that is useful to a lot of people, even beginners especially, but like even not beginners. Yeah, that was really nice, and I think I would have thought that would be a rubbish use of my time, but it was really good. But yes, there were some sessions where I just didn't even consider it. There were quite a few sessions on screenwriting, which I think was just because there were some people there who were formerly very successful screenwriters who've moved to novel writing. So they were around to give the talks, but I didn't think that they were particularly useful, so I didn't attend them.
It's a strange thing to put. It's a strange thing to talk about at a self-publishing thing, screenwriting.
Yeah.
But maybe
I think one of them was like a screenwriter talking about the tools that they learned from screenwriting and how they can apply that to novel writing. I think the good thing about using screenwriting as an example often is more people have seen the same films and have read the same books.
Yes.
So you often give better examples. But there was a talk that was just about like how to become a screenwriter in Hollywood, which is like, I don't think anyone following this talk is going to become a screenwriter in Hollywood. So it's hard to see what the actual use of that was. But it might be that someone who's really interested in that is like 100% in.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think there was more stuff on like AI videos that I didn't see. Yeah. Things I didn't want to see is what I didn't see.
Yeah. Yeah, fair enough. It's hard to think of the things as being like not good when you're just not interested in them.
Yeah, and some of the ones that I did go to, it was like a choice between 2 things that I maybe wasn't super interested in either of them, and the one I picked, it was maybe not interesting, not one that I've talked about today, just because it was maybe for a bit more of a beginner audience, or it just wasn't quite for me. But I think other people may find it inspiring.
Yeah, did you notice a big difference or a big split between people who are already like at different levels of people's careers? Were there a lot of people who were in the very newbie stages, and were there quite a lot of people who are 5, 6, 7-figure authors? Did you notice a split?
I think one thing I've noticed at SBS is more and more people are coming before they've published, or they've only got one book out at SBS. I think partly because it's so accessible. It's in London, it's very well known, it's established. So if you're newer, you've more likely to go to that. And so there were fewer people like that at Ireland because it's more of a punt. Like everyone's going to be travelling for it. It's only its second year, so you might not have heard about it even if you're newer. So definitely more people there who were established. And I'm just trying to think. I met some people who were on the. In fact, that's interesting. I met some people who had not published a lot, like maybe no books or one book, but they had been going to conferences for a while. I think maybe they had like day jobs that take a lot of their energy, so they're not necessarily writing a huge amount, and they like being in the writing world, so they didn't have like newbie energy, even they might not publish a lot.
Yes, they were in the mental writing room and not yet writing. Yeah, and that is just a different way to start.
Yeah. But yeah, there were more men there than I had expected, just in general. But I think partly it's because people could bring partners along, and it's a place you might want to come on holiday. And there's a nice pool, which I feel like I want to talk less about that because I don't want the pool to full next year. It was a very quiet pool.
Yes.
So it's a pool.
Don't
that you should
get
go to,
excited
but I should go
about
to.
it. Yeah, it's like it's fine.
Yeah.
Is it what other like did they have other leisure facilities? Was it just a pool, or was there like a sauna and a gym?
There's a sauna and a hot tub. There was a gym. I didn't go in it, but there was a gym there. Yeah, quite a big gym from the looks of it.
Okay, nice. I always think that in the when I go to that place that I've never been to, I'll use the gym facilities. I have yet to ever do that, but I like to dream big.
Well, if you're gonna bring hand luggage, you also got to get like gym gear in there. That's tough.
Oh, pajamas are gym gear. Just another set of pajamas.
And your gala dinner dress and your St. Patrick's outfit. So it's a lot of requirements. When I took out my
Yeah.
green, I was looking for a green dress to wear for St. Patrick's. And took out the green dress that I thought of. Then I was looking at my wardrobe, like, I've got loads of green dresses. And in fact, I had so many green dresses that I wore 2 green dresses a day for every day of the conference. That's
Nice.
amazingly, I've got a lot of
Yeah.
green dresses.
Yeah. I feel like this is just like going off on a tangent. Just a green dress is just a good thing to have in your wardrobe. I have a
I
few.
would say if I had been asked, I would have said I never wear green. I don't own any green dresses because I don't look. I've got very pale skin, and like pinky pale skin. So I think I look a little bit unwell when wearing green. But that's the look I went for the conference. Look a
Yeah,
little bit unwell.
it's all the rage.
Yeah.
I am very much looking forward to going next year because I think that it sounds
Mhm.
like obviously I've only ever been to SPS once last year and I'm going to go again this year. But I
Mhm.
don't want to get stuck in a rut of thinking that there's only
Mhm.
like certain things to go to. So it's quite nice that this has come up and it's an alternative experience to have. And do
Yeah.
you think that I know that you said that you had seen like you knew quite a lot of the cozy people there, but do
Mhm.
you feel like it was a different segment of do you think that like those people would go to SBS as well, or do you think it was a different group?
Weirdly, there were a lot of Americans there.
Mm.
Like more than you would think would fly in this
No,
far for a
no.
conference.
Americans love Ireland, and they will fly
I know.
there as though they're flying from Manchester. Doesn't matter where they are,
Yeah.
they'll go to Ireland. It's a
Yeah.
strange
A
thing.
lot of people had flown in from all around the world,
Mm.
um, which was great. So it did feel like a different group. There were people that I knew from SPS already,
Yeah,
but there were a lot of new faces,
nice.
and yeah, and loads of people that had like come in from America, which and a lot of people extended it with holidays. I think I might do that next year.
Hmm.
Though also, it's so close. You just hop over. I could have hopped over
So
every day and got like
close.
gone there and back and just slept at home.
Yes, exactly. You could just get the
Not
commuter.
great for the environment, but
No, I don't know how much it costs anymore, but we used to get the ferry over when we were kids, and we just
it's more expensive to go
it's
than public
so
transport.
yes, it's so
Yeah.
expensive now to get the ferry, but it used to be nothing. It'd be like 50
Mm,
quid for your car and the ferry. And
yeah.
we would go so often, and then they started hiking up because they're like, oh, everyone
Yeah.
loves a ferry.
Everyone wants to do it.
Jerks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would always rather go by public transport than fly if I can. But
Mm,
yeah, the train and ferry option was incredibly expensive and
yeah.
slow.
Yeah.
So not for me.
It
But I do have
sucks.
relatives in Galway who moved there after I booked this, so I might stay with them for a couple of days.
Mm, yeah.
But I also might not.
I love
I
Ireland.
feel a bit unsocial after a conference.
Yeah. I know. I hope that you
But
start to feel a bit
yeah,
better.
yeah. I think I will. I think I feel, on the mend now.
Hmm.
But I am, I don't know, feeling a bit like why is Ireland so close to Seville, the conference? Like I've only got a couple of weeks to
Mm.
really get back into life. So it's like 1, 2 and a bit weeks.
This is your own fault. You have decided to
It's
be a vagabond. Is that right?
yeah.
Is that the right word? That's the right word, right?
Mm,
Yeah, you have decided to hit the road with
yeah.
with your
Yeah,
laptop.
I didn't set the dates. So
No.
had I set the dates, but they're both around fixed dates. So like the Island Publishing show, which is changing name, I can't remember what it's called next year, is around
Oh,
St. Patrick's
Indie
and
Network
Seville.
Island. Yeah.
That's it,
Mhm.
and Seville is around Easter. So they will be further away when Easter gets further away. So in fact,
Yes.
I
Yeah.
shall blame the Whitby Synod of the
Sure.
14th century, whenever that was.
Yeah.
It's their fault. The conferences are close together. And then I'm going straight into a retreat in Seville as well. So I'm tired already.
What a life you're leading. Who'd have
I
thought
know.
this, like, even in October when you couldn't even imagine what your life was going to be like, and then all of a
Yeah,
sudden you're just jet setting.
I know. And then straight after that, in fact, I'm down to London to see some writing friends for my Hong Kong group. So just, yeah, it feels like I'm doing all the things this year and I'm loving
Yeah.
it. Um, but I'm tired now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm feeling
I
tired
shall,
on your
yeah,
behalf. Just by association. I'm tired.
yeah. But worth it.
Hmm.
Definitely Ireland's worth it. So I booked straight away for next year. And I would currently it's my top conference. If I were only going to pick one for a year, that's my number one. Obviously not been to Seville yet. Maybe that'll be even better. We will see. Though interestingly, I don't think I met a single person who's at Ireland who's also going to Seville. So maybe just me there. Let's see.
Yeah. Because everyone else just thought, and another conference in 2 weeks. No.
So close, yeah.
Yeah. I'll be like you.
Yeah, I do. Well, I'm taking a holiday in Seville as well, so actually it's going to be a restful time. I'm there for the 2 days of the conference, but I'm actually staying for a week to relax. So, though actually I've got some work to do. But work in a Spanish cafe is not the same as work in my little office.
Yeah. Agreed. Always better in a cafe.
Yes, with churros.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
Yeah. Right? Now you're thinking,
Yeah.
so smart.
Very
Yes.
smart.
So yes, strong recommendation for Ireland. If not booked, book it. Really good. Anything else on this topic? I don't think so. So I think that's it for this week.
Yes.
Next week it's our Q1 reviews. How are you ready for that? How are you feeling?
I don't feel bad about it, but only because I once again forgot what I was doing for Q1.
Yeah.
Which is fine. I think the Q1 for me really was just like getting like ads and stuff on the go. And I do think I have a list somewhere of like what my overall arching things, but I've forgotten it, which is obviously a terrible start to the year. But I do feel like I've come a long way, so I'm excited to talk about.
Yeah, I feel like we changed names of these quarter reviews because I feel like when we say Q1 review, it sort of suggests that like you've made a list and you're going to go through it. But I think it's just a good checkpoint for the year, like our Q1
Yes.
checkpoint,
Yeah.
just to see like where you at this year, how are you feeling.
Yes. Yeah. I think that
Yeah,
that's
I think
kind
its
of how
review
I'm.
is not great.
Yeah, I'm vibing more with just like a checkpoint because I feel
Yeah.
like even though I can't say right now what I've been doing, it feels good.
Yeah, and when we have our checkpoint discussion, then we'll know.
Yes.
Yeah, I think let's change the name for this year because
Okay.
that feels much better. So
Okay.
Q1 checkpoint next week. I'm looking forward to seeing where we're at.
Me too.
Hopefully everyone else is also thinking about their Q1s as we get to the end of March, and we will share about it in the Discord as well. So do join us there. The link is in the show notes. Also, link to our coffee, which you might want to become aware of for soon to be coming exciting news, as well as join the Discord for that. But I think that's everything for this week. We will see you again next week. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
You've been listening to Pen to Paycheck Authors.
Stay tuned for our next episode, and don't forget to subscribe to learn how to write your way to financial success.